Today is Wednesday, October 5th, 2022. Welcome to the Survivor Fans Podcast. I'm Joanne.
And I'm Stacy.
And this is our recap of Survivor 43, Week 3.
This episode was titled, I'll Sign the Divorce Papers, spoken by Jesse. We got a 2-day cycle, day 6, day 7 here in Week 3.
Jesse and Cody are happy.
Celebrating on the beach.
Yep, he's got the bracelet idol now.
Yes.
And Jesse is willing to let go of Dwight. That surprised me. I didn't think he'd go there immediately. But I was like, oh, okay. Well, all right then.
I like how they're doing some contrast and compare at this point in the episode. Because the editors flash back to Cody getting all the beads he needed for that bracelet so that he could get his vote back. And they highlight how NECA and Jesse played a pivotal role in that. Cody almost didn't have to do anything with those two advocating for him.
Yep, pretty much.
So
I'm not sure he would have gotten it on his own. I don't think he would have.
I'm unsure in that amount of time.
Not in that amount of time. I definitely don't think he would. He might have eventually.
I think he would have eventually wore him down.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. But this is important, and we'll contrast it with later on in the episode.
Well, and we saw Noelle and Dwight communicating, and I thought it was interesting, though, that Dwight let her know, well, I still want to work with Jesse. Mm-hmm. I'm not saying I don't want to work with him. You know, his was more of a, you have to sleep on the sofa. Jesse went straight for, I'll sign the divorce papers.
Not only will he sign the divorce papers, but he'll make sure Dwight's next to go, was how he gave it to us when he gave us the title.
Jesse, you know, you're feeling your power right now, but we know that can change quickly.
And at the same time, Jesse's just a little nervous that Noelle may come looking for blood.
Yeah, true. 'Tis true.
She had a different take on it than I expected. She was doing the humble pie thing. She said, well, some of that was on me because I let him think that I was locked in that tight with Justine.
Okay.
So, that they had no choice, that they couldn't come to me. So that was interesting to see how she was framing it and how she was approaching it, how she was going to tackle it going forward. Over to Baka.
Elie and Jeanine want Sami to convince Gabler that his idol doesn't work.
Well, first,
if he thinks it
Jeanine says Gabler has become unhinged.
Well, yeah.
And Elie tells us, well, there's a lot of babying going on there.
Well, they're the ones that chose to baby him. They didn't have to. They're working it, That's part of their working him. So, but yes.
Yeah, that's when, and then next they hatch that plan with Sami that you were talking about. Mm-hmm. Let's see if we can convince Gabler that his idol's dead, so he won't attempt to play it.
No, I like that, Sami went and talked to him.
He wasn't having it, was he?
Told him exactly what they did. But those girls went through your bag, so they know. They don't think you know. He just told them.
And I liked how he did it, the order, the sequence that he did it in, because he asked Gabler first, hey, can you still use your idol? And Gabler's like, yeah, you bet. And then he laid it on him. Well, they went through your bag, making sure they understood that, too.
The girls don't think you know.
Yeah.
They think you're stupid.
They lit a fire.
That's basically what he was telling him.
A stupid baby.
And he that's where he went with it, too.
Yes, lit the fire. Now he's got a burning plan to get Elie out next. I
guess what interested me most out of that whole exchange was Gabler pretending to Elie that he didn't think it would work. he made her believe that, oh, yeah, no, it's not good.
Right. So
And she bought it.
Just before that, they showed Sami and Gabler and Owen together talking. Mm-hmm. And Gabler explained how he was going to have to play the middle there. And then we see the setup that you were just talking about with Elie asking him about. First, she slow pitched it. She said, well, we could make some fake idols, and then could they have his to be a part of that? And he said, no, I'm going to save mine and give it to my daughter as a souvenir at her graduation.
Yeah, well, I don't know if he would have been able to do any of that if he hadn't been pre-warned. But that was a great story. If he's the one that came up with it, that was a perfect story to make her believe it.
Yeah,
And
I think he did
did
it on the fly, since that's kind of how it played out. And then Elie runs quickly. She's just tittering. She's excited to share with Jeanine that he doesn't know it's active. He thinks it's done.
Well, it is insulting that they think that, he can't reason that out.
I gotta
he
believe
didn't
there's
read it
some
properly.
some tweeting, there's some texting going on tonight.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, over to Coco, day 6. It's James's birthday.
Happy birthday,
They're
James.
singing him a song, and they made him a bracelet. And Cassidy also tells us that they're just gorging themselves on food. And we see them chowing down on papaya. I don't know what else they had, but she made it sound like it was plural. And she says, it's slow going. We're just playing a slow game over here till we have to slit each other's throats.
Yeah.
So it was a good Cassidy moment.
Okay, why would James say he was thinking about if they didn't have anything going, that he's going to go look for an idol? Why do you announce that to your entire tribe?
Yeah, maybe he's not the sharpest survivor player.
It's like, what?
I think what's more interesting to me was, what did you think about how Lindsay approached that?
I don't remember how Lindsay approached it.
Well, she just kind of reminded him that can be viewed poorly.
Oh, yeah.
And that's not always a positive action to take. Right. I don't think he cared or was listening at that point. He kind of, it was his birthday. He had decided what he was going to do. He's going to go search those rocks.
Yeah, but then the next thing they showed us was him taking a nap. He lay down to take a nap.
Right. So they showed Cassidy and Lindsay and Ryan heading out in the boat onto the water, which is what they got with the smaller fishing kit.
So maybe he'd already gone and looked through the rocks.
James is ready for his nap. And that leaves Karla. We don't know where Geo is, but Karla decides, okay, I'm going to go search. And she's searching, and they give us that classic flash, like when Elie went by one and didn't see it, the Beware Advantage. They flashed just above her head. She had just walked under it. There's a Beware Advantage up in a tree branch. And she does turn around and eventually see it. What did you think about how she decided to manage it?
That she stopped as soon as she saw it. Oh, Beware Advantage.
Confirmed it was a Beware Advantage.
Which was what you would have expected Cody to do. Especially since he was headed to Tribal Council. Anyway, I thought that was really smart of her to at least think it through. And, they could have thought maybe they were up next. They hadn't lost any, but they might. And she didn't want to not have a vote. At least she thought that through.
Twice now she had faced that temptation, and she decided to put it back.
Yep.
And play it safe.
Well, that's what I thought. You can, unless somebody else finds it, you could always come back to it.
I was pretty impressed with her at that point. I thought, good for you. Preserve your vote. You need that right now.
Yeah,
You can't tell how things are going down because you guys haven't been tested yet.
They haven't been tested. They haven't been to Tribal Council, and you really don't know who your alliance is until that happens. So then they pop over to Vesi for a little bit, and Neka, I did what you do.
Oh, it must be my fault.
It was, because we were just talking about it earlier.
How I'm the only one who says it that way.
Yeah, and now I said it. So okay, you get to float. All right, Neka was braiding Dwight's hair, which I thought made him look so much worse. It didn't.
Getting his hair done.
I don't know. I'm not sure.
And we get more of her backstory. She wants to help a mission that she's worked with in the past, and the camp that the mission lives at had been attacked and burned down, and so her big plan is to use the $1 million.
Well,
and she's very open and sharing about it. So she's
I
sharing
really
that with
liked
Dwight.
seeing the backstory. That was nice, and you know what made her want to come and play and all of that. So I thought, oh, that's great. We get her backstory.
Very altruistic. My first
Yep.
thought was, oh, you need to be voted out.
Well,
That's dangerous.
I liked it when she said that, and I'm out here sleeping on bamboo, and I just tell myself, well, suck it up, chick. I thought that was so cute.
Yeah.
It just seemed unlikely something she would say, but I guess not. We don't know her that well. Okay, back over to Coco. Karla is questioning James. What did you think about her asking him those questions?
I thought, so now you're trying to get James to go get it? That's what you want him to take the risk? But then you'll be tight with James because he's got an alliance with the ladies? Is that what's going on? Nope, that wasn't what was going
That wasn't
on.
what was going on.
The knowledge of a beware advantage was burning a hole in her mental pocket.
Hypothetically, if you were to find one,
Yeah.
what would you do? Have you thought about it? Yep, okay.
James was honest. He said, well, I don't know what I would do.
Well, then she decided that her wife might be upset.
What would my wife think if I didn't?
If I don't take a risk, what's she going? I better go do it.
So
I
she
think she
tears
really
back off
wanted to
over there.
anyway,
Yeah. It started working on her.
Yeah, of course it would. Knowing it's there and just not knowing what it was, be like, oh man.
And it's the same, basically
Same
the
as
same.
Cody's. Yeah, yeah.
That we saw before. You got to get the beads from the other castaways.
Okay, this was quite impressive.
And she had lost her vote.
Well, yeah, that would.
She's now technically
yeah.
without a vote. Yes.
Yeah, that is not good. That wasn't what she wanted.
This is the contrast part.
Yep, it is.
She
I'm
hatches a plan.
So impressed how she handled it and got the beads.
Well, she went from what would my wife think if I didn't to let me use my wife as leverage. She's got a birthday coming up, just like the one we just celebrated.
Made a bracelet for James.
Yeah.
I want to make one for my wife.
Yeah.
So please.
What a
give me
great
your
idea.
beads. Oh, please give me those. And it worked. James didn't hesitate.
Take it.
Didn't
Take
even
it, he
think
said.
about it. Yeah, sure.
Gio said, I don't want to.
Yep. And this is where part of her smart strategy. Okay, what does Gio like? What does he want? What can I give him?
What do they want?
And it worked.
She, yeah.
He wanted more beads.
Yes. So she gave him.
I'll give you all of these.
Yes.
For that one.
Okay.
Well, okay then. All right, we can do that.
2 down, 3 to go.
And then the girls with the earring, really? Why would you want one earring? Of course, you could have, I guess, taken it apart and made 2 out of that. It was so long, but
Well, you get to add those colorful, flashy, spinning pieces of metal to your bracelet.
okay. Well, and I think mostly they just thought she was like, oh, so you can remember me kind of thing. So
Yeah.
that was kind of, but it worked. I'm like, okay, still impressed. She's figuring out what each person needs.
I think she was like the hero of the episode almost in terms of her gameplay for this.
Well,
And it's like I said, compare and contrast. You got Cody, he really needed Jesse and NECA there.
took a village.
Yeah. So it was really 3 of them making that happen. Karla did it all on her own in what appeared to be the same amount of time through creative bartering and, like you said, asking herself, what do they want?
And with difficult things, because she knew Ryan had a girlfriend, and he didn't want to give up his beads, and yet she presents him with this lovely bracelet. I don't know if it was hers going out there or something she created from something out there, but he was sold. Sure, that's great.
Yeah.
Thanks. This is pretty.
This will work. I can give her this.
This is pretty. She'll like this. Sure, take my beads. And nobody has a clue.
Again, there's going to be some more direct messages, some texting going on tonight.
Yep.
I can't believe you scammed us like that.
You played me. You used my emotion.
Yes.
To remember you by, and you were playing me. It's like, yeah, well.
So well done, Karla.
Yeah, I was impressed that she did it. Well, I thought was very smooth.
So effectively, yeah.
I liked it. I appreciated it. Well done, Karla.
Now she's got immunity. She's got her vote back. She's good to go.
Yep.
Day 7 now. We're on to an immunity reward challenge. Coco and Baka react to Justine being gone. They're a bit surprised. What'd you think about this challenge? We've certainly seen challenges like this before, so it wasn't all new or anything like that, but I like the different physical and then the mental
Well, I
piece
always
at the
like
end.
it when they have a variety. You know, and in the beginning, they usually do have where there's a lot of different things they have to do to make it work.
Yeah, so they had to leap off a tall tower. Some people dove, some people jumped.
Some people belly flopped.
Yes, Dwight.
And then, you know, they just put an obstacle in their way to climb up and over.
Yeah.
But they
Climb
could
back
use
up
that.
over 2 crates.
But like Ryan did, they could use that extra height to dive down and get down to the buoys easier.
From the top of the second crate there.
Yeah,
It's not as high as the first thing they jumped off of, but yeah, he basically parkoured that whole thing. But you got to have Ryan's strength to pull it off like he did.
Well, it's still
It was all
helpful.
one smooth motion.
If anybody can dive from a higher place, they can go down deeper. It's a lot harder to swim over there than try to just swim down than it is to dive down. You already got the momentum.
That release mechanism seemed to work a lot better too.
Oh, yeah.
Instead of
I liked that.
having to untie things or unhook things, and
Nobody seemed to have a struggle with it.
not that we were shown for sure.
Yeah, so that was nice.
Yep.
And I don't remember did anybody have to go back down again?
It didn't seem to play out that way. Not that I noticed. Yeah.
Okay.
And so they come back out of the water, go up over these 2 crates, jump back into the water, go down, and there's 3 buoys. Each member of the 3-person physical team has to release a buoy, and then they've got to get that buoy up to the platform and then get themselves up on the platform. And then once all 3 of them are there, they can release the puzzle pieces of the big sea turtle, and then they can solve the big physical sea turtle
a lot
puzzle.
of them just threw the buoy over to the.
I was really impressed with Ryan. I mean,
Well,
again,
his
just
went
that sheer
pretty
distance.
much there.
Yes. A lot like Jonathan last time. He makes one throw and it's almost on the platform. Yeah.
Yeah, and we had looked at the pictures, in the commercials and things that showed who was doing the puzzle on each tribe. Mm-hmm. And that's why
Help me decide my vote out. Yes.
Yeah, even though we were both wrong. we did choose the right team because we thought, ooh, Jesse and NECA doing the puzzle.
In particular, NECA, which we know is very bad at puzzles.
And I had it all wrong. I thought Baka was going to be in the back, but that because the 2 girls were so good, they'd come in and catch up. But that part wasn't right.
But before we go much further with the puzzle part, let me just mention that the reward is there are 2 rewards. There's a large toolkit and then a large fruit basket, and then there's a junior toolkit and
a junior basket.
A junior fruit basket, yeah. And Coco sat out Geo since they needed to sit one person out.
Yeah, and he did look, didn't he, to see if anything was hidden?
He did. They showed him. They cut to him just briefly because I wrote a question as soon as he sat out. It's like, will he search? Is there anything there?
Yes, he did.
Yep.
No, there wasn't.
What did you think about Noelle's choice to drop her leg?
Whatever works.
Wasn't sure how things were going to go at that point, but as soon as she hit the water, it was clear she was going to make it work.
I felt fairly
the way
confident.
she got herself over the crates.
Yes, that was the part I wasn't sure about, was her getting over the crates. But a friend of mine had lost his arm, and he could do a lot of things, and it could take a lot of pressure, whereas other people would be pressing on their hands and arms. He used that, and he didn't have any prosthetics or anything, and he was always using that for all kinds of things, so it never seemed to slow him down much at all. And so I really thought she'd do fine. Or I didn't think she would. I didn't think she's the type of person that would say she could do something that she couldn't do, because she's very competitive.
She definitely delivered. First, it was
Totally.
Dwight and Owen and Cassidy, and they all three did well, but Owen did really well. I was impressed with Owen. And then next, that's when we got to see Geo searching. And then, who was it that went next?
Noelle, Karla, and Gabler.
Yeah, and they all three did really good too.
Yeah, Gabler came in first. Hello. That's the first thing I've seen him do well, I think, on the challenges. So maybe he's feeling better.
Karla was super graceful in her dive. She was just smooth.
She was.
Just all about smooth. Yeah.
And then Sami, Cody, and Ryan brought up the back.
Yeah, and that's when Ryan was parkouring over the crates. He just moved across the course in a totally different energy and a way than everyone else.
Okay, so all the buoys were collected, and they all started on the turtle puzzle.
Yeah, Baka was first, but the other two were close behind. So.
Oh, yeah. I think they were all pretty close, but I wasn't surprised to see Baka win, because those girls proved last time they were pretty good on the puzzle.
Elie has found her confidence. And so, they got it done. Elie and Jeanine got the big sea turtle puzzle done. And Jesse and NECA appeared to be doing pretty well. And Coco was in last, but Lindsay and James just kept plugging away.
They kicked it in, and Cody and NECA just seemed to freeze up and just start looking over to see instead of staying focused on the puzzle to try to figure it out. They were trying to see what...
Well, they got stuck again, yeah.
Yeah, and it didn't pay off.
We didn't hear him call them out the way he had in the past, but it was basically the same thing. They get to a certain point and then they freeze.
Well, I don't know if that's true or not, but okay.
Okay.
All right, but they lose, and
Probe said they blew their lead and back to tribal council for
Vesi's
Vesi.
going back to tribal. And we were like, hey, at least we might get a vote-off point, but alas.
Now for the twist.
Mm-hmm. Baka, who won,
Yep.
got to choose one person from each tribe to send away in a boat.
We just figured they were going back to Big Rock Island there.
Yep.
Right, to do the same drill as they had done the first time. But it was slightly different, but we'll cover that in a minute.
Okay, so they chose Noelle, James, and Owen said, I'm going.
Yep, he wants his shot the way Gabler got one.
Yep, and so I even wrote back to the Big Rock.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we're still on day 7. We're back at the Vesi tribe first, and NECA is telling everyone how sorry she is. She's taking full responsibility for losing the puzzle.
And she tells Dwight, I will not leave Cody and Jesse, so now I feel really bad because I got to destroy Noelle's dream.
Yep, she cried, and Dwight looked startled for a second and then patted her on the shoulder.
Yeah, he didn't know how to respond, did he?
Well, he's young.
Yeah.
He's like, she's crying. What do I do?
Right. Jesse and
you
Cody.
You did good. You patted her.
Jesse and Cody are talking about it, and they're really bummed with NECA, because evidently she had told them she was good on puzzles, and now she's failed twice.
Well, I was a little surprised that Cody was ready to turn that quick and Jesse wasn't. But that's why I had told you I was thinking about putting NECA as the vote out, because I said if they lose 2 weeks in a row, they may change their mind about her, and you're like, oh no, she's got to, and they'll take Noelle. And I thought, well, that makes sense too. And
That's true. They had already made that choice. They'd already chosen alliance over
so I
tribe
stuck with you,
strength.
baby, and lost my vote off point.
It's my fault.
It's your
I'm
fault.
sorry.
It's your fault. You convinced me that I was being silly.
Oh, is that it? Go ahead, expand it.
No, that's enough.
How did I gaslight you in the process,
I
too?
don't know. You caught me at a weak moment. I was in a hurry. I had an appointment. I had to go. I didn't have much time to make a choice, so I just went with you, sweetie.
Gotcha.
I won't be doing that again.
I've heard this story so many times.
No, I take responsibility for my
Now,
choices.
you had made your own choice.
I clicked the button.
Yes, you chose Elie to be the one that was going to be voted out.
No, I didn't.
That's where you were when we first talked about it.
Last week.
No, this was this week you said that.
Maybe this weekend, but no.
Okay.
Not once we saw the pictures of who was doing the puzzles.
Mm-hmm.
From then, I was like, oh no. Jeanine and
you didn't share
Elie
any of this
doing
inner
it.
dialogue with me.
Yeah, I did.
No, the last thing you
You're
had
so
told me
wrong.
was that you had Elie to go when you asked me if I'd made my picks, and I said
hadn't made
no, and
any
you
picks.
you had.
No, I had not made any picks.
That was what you had
don't-
decided.
Okay. He doesn't listen, y'all. He does not listen.
Right.
Okay, enough of us.
That cuts both ways, you know.
Okay, let's not fight on podcasts.
All right.
Okay, baby, where were we? Before we digress
Jesse
so
and
terribly.
Cody were going back and forth. Are they going to vote out Nick? Are they going to vote out Noelle? Because Noelle's doing as good as anyone in the challenges. How can they logically do that and expect a different result going forward?
Well, I can understand how they would have been concerned that she couldn't do the challenges, but that's not even, Cody tells us, that's not a concern anymore.
No.
She can do the challenges. That's not even anything to think about anymore. She's proved herself, and
we get this moment with Jesse where he explains his struggle because he has such a strong bond with NECA because she reminds him of
his mom.
Yep. How could he vote out his mom? That's what it comes down to.
That would be hard.
Appears to even have him crying down on the beach.
Well, you have those emotional moments, but you're probably going to have to vote her out at some point. She's not really helping your cause now for that, but so a lot of people will keep it for the loyalty. So
Well, that's the big trade-off. Is it, am I going to favor alliance or tribe strength?
yeah, so it was a guess.
Okay, time to see who's going to risk their vote. So instead of going out to the rock in the water, turns out they have to climb the mountain. And thankfully, they had at least gotten Noelle's leg back for her. Because when she hopped in the boat, she didn't have it.
That's true.
But she wasn't too excited about having to climb up a mountain.
I don't blame her.
Yeah, that looked difficult.
And especially after they'd just done a big challenge.
So you get more of Noelle's backstory and how this all went down, how she ended up losing her leg, and then how she was able to work back from that.
I liked seeing all the backstories. That was good.
What did you think about her choice to tell them about how that last tribal council had gone?
I liked it. I liked that she was honest with them. She told them where she was in her tribe, and I know that may come back and bite her at some point, but it also might help her.
She also made a deal, and they seem to accept it. Do you think that this will actually become something? We've seen this happen before.
No way to know.
The previous 2 times, it did not materialize into anything.
And it could even hurt her. But at some point, that's her risk.
So
That's the risk she took.
her and James and Owen have agreed to sync up at the merge and be an alliance of 3. That's how I understood it.
Of course. And the answer is always yes, whether you do it or you don't, whether it plays out or not, because you don't know what kind of fix you're going to be in at the merge. And you may be very happy you did it, and you may be sad that you did it. But it works for her going forward because she's not going to get to the merge. She's pretty sure about that if she doesn't get some kind of advantage.
Well,
and so,
James and Owen certainly seem to buy into that idea.
well,
They seem to have no hesitation to choose no risk, and therefore she was the only
let her
one
have
to
it.
risk, which means she automatically got an advantage.
and they can feel good about saving her. And they both need to keep their votes. I think Owen realizes, hey, I need to have my vote. Things could get ugly back at our camp if I don't have my vote. And James should feel the same way because you don't know. And they, like we said before, Coco has not been tested yet. So he doesn't really know where his alliances are.
Noelle appeared to tell him that she was going to take out a big player, that this was going to really pay off for them too, because in the process of this, she was going to take out someone big.
Well, and she still might, but she didn't have to use it this week. I guess she was confident of that, so okay. But she got her advantage. Good on her.
And she shared it with Dwight when she got back.
Yeah.
Wasn't it
but-
cool that she had it hidden? I know, I'm worried too that Dwight's going to mess that up. That was my first thought.
I don't think that was a good idea. That's the only part that I thought, nah.
That was a risk for sure.
That was definitely a risk because he could have solidified things with them. They could have decided it was her and that he could go warn them. They could do whatever.
It would be
Yeah.
some
that
currency
could
for
have
him
been
to get back
ugly.
in their graces.
Yes. So.
Potentially. I like how she hid it in her leg too. That was
Well,
cool.
and she even said, I know you're never supposed to do this on Survivor, but she chose to do it. So
When you got no one, I guess you'll take anyone.
as,
And there you are with Dwight.
as long as she's content with her choice, because it was a choice.
Tribal
she did it.
Council, night 7.
Wait, before Tribal Council, we didn't talk about the steal a vote.
Oh.
It wasn't. It was a steal a vote.
Right. So it
Not
wasn't
an idol.
two immunities, an expiring immunity across 2 tribal councils. This was
No.
a steal a vote. So yeah, during the commercial, they gave us plenty of time to oh, well, maybe she'll steal this person's vote. And then, well, at a minimum, that gives them 3 so they can decide the future. And so it makes a little more sense then to have Dwight on your side if he'll, if you've got
Not to me.
any
He could go
inkling.
tell
But that
them.
gives you 3.
He could go tell them exactly what her plan was and who to steal, and they could have played.
But you need 3.
Played Cody's idol.
Yes.
They could have played Cody's idol.
Right.
for-
We talked through all these variations, and we were
Yep.
trying to come up with some way that Noelle would still go because that's who we thought was going.
Well, we were clinging on to a point at that point.
Yes.
Though actually,
That part was fun.
I actually am happy that she stayed and NECA went instead because I do think she's way more valuable to the tribe.
Certainly appears that way.
Yeah.
Although they are kind of screwed in that they don't appear to have anyone who can do a puzzle. I think Jeanine might have been the only one who had a shot at it, and she was too scared to try. So, yeah, now we'll never
And
know.
maybe there's a reason why she was too scared to try too. So, yeah, I think they're just already screwed on that point because there is no one.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure it matters who they put on the puzzle. So they've used Dwight so far, and they've used NECA twice, and
Now
so-
Jesse's completely failed, locked up.
Yep.
So at Tribal Council, NECA tries to play it off like it was a team failure. It was a team effort. And Jesse said that he does puzzles at home with his kids, but with everyone yelling and Jeff yelling, and he just couldn't think clearly.
Oh, okay. No, he got stumped.
And now for NECA, it's a heartbreak because they have to lose another tribe member.
Yeah. It's a hard afternoon, but
For
she
Cody,
didn't know.
Cody's been trying to do the math, and he says it's been 200 hours, and NECA corrects him 168 hours that they've been devoted to each other, so that makes things harder.
Yes, well, I thought because they gave her so much time right there at the beginning of Tribal Council, I thought, oh, it's her.
Yeah.
She's going. Well, that was my first thought because they, Jeff asked her questions right off the bat. So that doesn't mean that that's what he did right off the bat, but they chose to show it that way.
Dwight frames it in the classic way. Do you go for the strong tribe or do you stick with the alliance? How do you make this decision? It's a classic one that comes up again and again and again in Survivor.
And Noelle tells how she said, and I had to be gone, and I was already on the bottom last week. So,
Yep.
that was tough for her.
But she sure feels like she proved herself at the challenge.
And I'm not sure what old Jeff was trying to get with everybody telling them how confident they were it was going to go their way.
Yeah, that seemed like a goofy waste of time, didn't it? The only part of that was funny or interesting was that it bothered Jesse so much that it wasn't a consistent measuring system. So he wanted him, since he's all about votes and how voting works, he wanted him to do a survey with the same scale. Otherwise, it was meaningless.
Well, and then he says he's 10, and that cracked Jeff up. But okay, and I think NECA was just kind of being funny, 9.5. But and at this point, I'm not sure. When Noelle says 5, I'm thinking I'm not sure what's going on and where she's at, and when does she play when does she steal a vote? It's got to be after the vote.
No.
You thought before, and I was like,
it has to be
no.
before so that you can fill in who you're going to vote for. So when it didn't happen and they went up to vote, I was like, whoa, wait a minute. Not connecting the dots.
Oh, so you think she got to no.
If she had chosen to use
I don't
it.
think she gets to put somebody else's name on it and then submit it. She gets to make her own vote, but she just steals someone else.
She steals someone else's blank vote that she can then fill out.
That wasn't how I saw it. We're going to have to go back and look at that.
Okay.
I thought she would just steal.
You will soon discover that I'm correct.
Well, frequently when it's reading stuff like that, and you read that in more detail than I do, so you could be correct. But we will go back and look at it to be sure. Because that's what we do.
So the vote comes up, 1 for Noelle, 1 for NECA, 2 for NECA.
3 for NECA. NECA's out.
Jesse, you dirty dog, you voted out your tribe mom.
Yep, well.
Noelle gives him a quick, thanks, guys. I appreciate you. I enjoyed the episode, and I was anxious at multiple times to see how things were going to turn out. But I would have been happy with more. I would have liked 90 minutes instead of 60.
Yeah.
So this one felt compressed. And
You like to be anxious, though.
yeah, okay.
But
What did you think overall? Is it a winner?
I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
And I like that NECA didn't seem to be bitter or anything. No negative emotions, she said. And so she just accepted it. Now, that's in the moment. We don't know what she felt a day or two later.
Mm-hmm. What do you think their prospects are going forward?
They're
going to keep losing? Yeah.
I don't know. Because if they keep doing puzzles, then probably. But
That'd be so funny. We just knew they were going to be a powerhouse in the challenges and the physical piece.
Well,
and they
maybe
have done well.
They'll have Noelle and Cody do it next time and see how they do.
Wouldn't that be a surprise for Cody?
Yeah.
If it turns out he's really good at puzzles. He's like, well, I didn't think I was good at puzzles. Come
That'd
on,
be cool.
LIVIN with the puzzles.
Well, would you volunteer yourself to do the puzzle?
Yes. Yeah, I would. I've thought about this many times.
If you were Jesse, would you?
Oh,
if you
again?
were Dwight, would you? That's what I'm asking. Why would they volunteer to do the puzzle again?
Well,
I'd
you
be
got
like,
no one else. I'll give it another
Hey,
shot.
we already saw I didn't do well, so you guys give it a try.
I'll do it. You saw how I did last time.
I was like,
if you want me to
no.
be that person.
No, because they'll vote whoever they think made them lose it. They'll vote them out. So there's only 4 of them now. That's pretty small. So now Coco's going to have to sit out 2 people, and Baka's going to sit out 1 in the next challenge.
Yep.
So
Hey, speaking of the next challenge, next time on Survivor, we hear Probst say that the winning tribe wins the right to steal from one of the other 2
earns the right.
tribe camps.
Yeah.
I don't know that kind of thing has ever been productive or terribly interesting.
Yeah, because
It-
the people doing it end up feeling bad, and
Yeah,
and people are
they try
mad at them.
to balance it out, like not take too much, take
not
something.
make enemies. And,
yeah, I'll take the small tarp, not the large tarp, or I'll leave the small tarp, or
And then they only got.
I won't take their pot, because you could really put someone in a bad place depending on how much you can take.
Yeah, no, and I don't think they should be allowed to take the anything that would harm them, like not being able to have water or.
Yeah, I don't think they can take those things. Sure.
Yeah,
But losing your
my thought
machete,
was,
losing your pot.
if Baka doesn't win, then
They're a big target.
Yeah,
Because they got the primo fishing gear.
Exactly.
And they got the big toolkit.
and maybe they haven't eaten all the fruit.
Possibly, yes.
So they've won a lot of the stuff. So, yep. But if they win, where are they going to go? Are they going to go to the people who won the lesser fishing kit and lesser fruit, or what do you think they are going to go look for? Who hasn't won any reward? Well, Coco won the.
Well, Vesi hasn't these last two times. I mean, they
Yeah.
lost the last two challenges, so
and we're
they've
on
got the
week
least.
3, so.
Yeah, they've definitely got the least.
Yeah. So,
We've only had two of the reward combos like that.
yeah.
We
I
see
wouldn't
Lindsay
think
saying
anybody'd go
something
there.
strange in the next time on Survivor. She says, I got people I want to get revenge on. This seems completely out of context. Like this is from some, like it's referring to something else.
Yeah.
That didn't make any sense to me.
Well, they showed it right after, going to the tribe, which I think is supposed to make us think she was going to steal stuff to get, but
then they
I
showed
don't
James
think so.
saying, if they're going to play games, then this is war.
This is war.
And Cody says,
Cody basically
we're at war, man.
And then Elie talks about it becomes really tricky when you touch nerves. And I was thinking, does that mean Baka wins and they're going to have to go tippy-toe around to not upset people? Or what is happening?
Or does this have nothing to do with that? Or,
Yeah, then I thought, well, maybe Lindsay, she was talking about, hey, I'm ready to go to tribal council. I got some people I want to get revenge on. Or something like that.
Yeah, but
Who
they
knows?
haven't gone to tribal council.
I
so
know, but it doesn't mean they're not thinking about who they want to get out first.
What's the revenge play? What could have happened there? I don't know.
Well, we don't know.
That's why it doesn't
We
make
might
any
find out
sense. It
next
just
week.
seems out of place. At the end, they cut to Noelle at the end saying, "Survivor is a freaking cutthroat game."
That it is.
So I decided that means she's the one who gets chosen. They win, and she's the one who's going to go raid the other camp. And she doesn't care because Survivor's freaking cutthroat, man.
Yeah, no, I didn't read that at all.
No? Okay.
No, I told you what I read. So probably we're both wrong.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Anything else you want to say about the episode?
Whoa, I don't know. I think we covered it.
About a
pretty much.
JSFL update.
That I can do. All right. I forgot to see how many people were in first. Okay. I forgot. Oops. There were 6 people who lost
had one
their
job.
USB. No, I had several. What were you doing? Okay. 6 people lost their USB 24. 57 people lost a safe point. And 23 people earned a vote off point.
I could see how so many lost a safe point.
Yep. Okay, side challengers. With 14 points in first place, Jeremiah. With 12 points, we have Chris, Justin, Nikki, Parker, Rebecca, Robert, and Stacy. And with 10, Cold Mike.
We are clumped at 12, and then we got Cold Mike holding down the basement.
All right.
Well, that's our recap. We got the broad strokes of what happened. Now we're looking forward to hearing from you on the listener feedback show, which we do on Saturdays. Feedback's due Saturday, noon. We've got the voicemail line 206-350-1547, toll free 844-643-8737. We're looking for that feedback in the 3-minute range. You can write it up and shoot it to us in an email at joanneandstacyshow@gmail.com. You can record your own audio. That's how you get the best quality normally, as long as you get in a quiet place and you're not stomping around the room or bumping your phone while you're recording. And then that voicemail line's there. It's quick and easy, and we got folks that take advantage of that. And if you can get that in early, that's been happening. So we've been having some really good listener feedback shows, enjoying that.
And that would be noon Pacific time.
Mm-hmm.
That's 3 p.m. Eastern time. I think 2 Central. And that's as far as I can go with it.
Okay. Anything else?
Nope. I think that's it.
Have a good one.